everybody, Big Anklevich here, podcaster, author, and carnivore, and it is Monday, July 2nd, 2023, and you are watching my update for week 5 of my journey to Wonderland using beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, carnivore, and since I change it up every week, this week we're doing 1 meal a day fasting. You're watching Big Anklevich on health. All right, everybody, we're going to jump straight into the daily reports and see how things went this week. Some weird stuff happening this week, so how did it go? It is Monday, and I got up this morning to do my numbers, and they came out at 3.3 for my ketones, which is basically the same as yesterday. I think they were 3.7 or 8 yesterday. And then my blood sugar was 92, which is also basically the same as yesterday. And guess what that means? My Dr. Boz ratio was 27, which is the same as yesterday. It's rounded off. You know, it was actually 27.9, and I think yesterday was 27.1 or something like that. It's slightly better yesterday, but it's still good. So yeah, that was the deal. And then after that, I got out and I went for a walk. I did 2 miles out there, and just basically it was just me resting. You know, I wasn't walking to walk hard. The hard stuff will be tomorrow when I do the actual running. So it was a good day out there. It was just pleasant, hot, but pleasant. And yeah, today was a 1 meal a day. We've switched to 1 meal a day for this week. And so I had my bacon and eggs at about 11 o'clock, and they were delicious as usual, very tasty. And then now I guess you could say I'm fasting until tomorrow. Although I'm not, I wouldn't consider it fasting if it doesn't get over 24 hours at least, which I'm not going to be doing this week. So yeah, I'll be eating again tomorrow, and I'm fine right now. Little hungry because I've been eating extra in the last few days. We've eaten 2 days, or eating 2 meals a day, 2 days, 3 days in a row. So I don't do that very often, but doing good. And I'm going to keep it up. We're going to kick some butt. It is Tuesday, and my numbers today were a little less than I wanted them to be. My ketones are now down again to 1.8, which I don't know if I can say that that's good. I mean, it's not in the zeros yet, so it's still doing, it's almost 2. My blood sugar was at 83. And that's a pretty good number. And you put those together, and it gives me a Dr. Boz ratio of 46, which, I mean, I would have thought that was good a while ago, but I got 14 the other day. So I don't know. I guess it can't be that way every day. You got to give yourself a break sometimes. You can't have 72-hour fasts every day because there's not 72 hours in a day. But yeah, that's what I got for my numbers this morning. And then I went on my run, and today was a running day. It was 15 times of running 90 seconds and walking 30 seconds. And I'll have to admit that was a bit of a pain. The smallest increment my run keeper would signal me with is a minute, which worked great when I was doing the 1 minute run, 1 minute walk. But now it was, 1 minute, and then I'd be like, okay, I got to watch the clock. It gets to 30, and then I stop running, and then when it signals me for the next minute, I start running again. I missed the clock a few times, and one time I screwed it up and stopped at 30 seconds instead of at 90, and then I realized when the next 30 seconds went past, oh geez, I need to keep going. And so I started going again. But all in all, I did well. I ran well. I think I kept things up, and at the end I ran an extra few minutes so that I could get to a full 2 miles, and that was cool. After that, later in the day, I had myself the last bit of that brisket that I got from work. To make it better, I chopped it up into smaller pieces and I put it in a frying pan with some butter to heat it up. And that worked really well and it made it super tasty. So this bowl full of brisket here, much better than the brisket that I had last, whenever it was, the other day. Saturday, I think it was, where it was low on flavor. I also added some salt to it, which made it pretty good. And now, I guess you could say I'm fasting, although it's only going to be for 20 some odd hours, 23 hours, I don't know, something like that. But we'll see if that brings my ketones up at all, or if they keep falling. See what happens with that. See how much 1 meal a day I should do. It is Wednesday, and this morning I got up, did my numbers, and my ketones had gone up a little bit. They were at 2.3 today, and my blood sugar was 83. So you put those together, and the Dr. Boz ratio comes out to 36 even. Don't get an even Dr. Boz ratio very often. I usually have to round it off, but that's what I had today. After getting my numbers, I went ahead and got out and went on my walk. And it was actually kind of nice today. You know, it's been so hot around here. This morning, there was a decent breeze and there was a decent cloud cover, and it wasn't so horribly hot. I didn't sweat quite as bad. Still sweat though. That's just not going away. After my walk, I had to jump in the car and run and get a bunch of groceries because my wife's sister and her family are coming to visit us. They're going to be here tonight. So I was getting all the groceries for, I don't know, the first half of their visit, first part of their visit. And I had to do that really fast because there was a guy coming to fix the internet, which got messed up yesterday. So he was coming this morning as well. So I had to hurry, get in all that groceries, and then rush back and be back in time for the dude. And when I got back in time for the dude who was coming to fix our internet, I did manage to get in some food. I pulled out the ground beef that I had left over from last week. There was really not that much left. I thought I had about half of the container, but it sure didn't seem like that. So I ate that, and then I was like, I think I'm gonna need some more. So I cooked a pound of bacon, and I had that as well. And because I'd had the ground beef, I figured I probably didn't need the 6 eggs that I usually eat with bacon. So I just stopped with the bacon and the ground beef. And that was my food. Oh, I also had a mug of bone broth that my daughter made. She took they got a chicken from Costco, and she put that into the crock pot after they picked it clean and used it to make some bone broth with, and it was pretty good bone broth. I added a little salt and a little no salt to it, which is potassium. And I need to get myself some magnesium that I can add to that kind of stuff too, to make it a full-on, really good electrolyte drink. But yeah, that was what I had for my food today. And started, you know, my 1 meal a day fasting thing, which, as I always say, doesn't count as a fast to me if it's not at least 30. Basically, if it's not 40 hours, I don't consider it a fast. So doing 1 meal a day, and I'm not eating for the rest of the day. I'll be back at it again tomorrow eating. We'll see how that goes. You know, my wife's sister here and all her family, they want to go see whatever stuff there is to see. I still have to work for a couple more days, so I won't be able to go with them for most of this week, but Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday all through next week will be a lot of craziness. I'm not even sure when this video is going to get out, because I don't know when I'll get a chance to edit it, but we shall see. All right, well, I'll talk to you guys about how it went tomorrow. It is Thursday, and I got up this morning, did my numbers. They were a little lower than I would like them to be. My ketones were 1.7, and my blood sugar pretty much the same as yesterday, and I think for the last little while it's up slightly to 87, which puts my Dr. Boz ratio at 51, which I want to be as close to 40 as possible. I don't know if I need to do anything to get my ketones up. Probably next week I will try doing some 40-hour fasts during the week. So maybe we'll, I guess, test that versus the 1 meal a day. Maybe 1 meal a day isn't enough for me. I don't know. But yeah, my numbers are low, and that it's fine, I guess, as long as I'm making progress, but I want to keep them up. I think 1.7, I don't know, I think Dr. Boz herself gets 1.7 frequently, so I can't be too upset.
So ketones 1.6, actually better than I thought they'd be. And my glucose of 87.
But Dr. Boz herself is also in much better shape than I am. She doesn't have 100 pounds to lose like I do, so I got to keep it going. But anyways, after that, I went out and I did my run. I'm still going on the Couch to 5K program. It's week 3. And today I ran doing the same thing that I did on Tuesday, which is 90 seconds run, 30 seconds walk, 15 times. And it was, again, a bit of a pain trying to keep track, because the lowest level my Runkeeper thing will do is 1 minute intervals. And right near the end of the run, I realized I could just run an extra 30 seconds, and then I could do my 30 seconds of walking right as the time changed, and then I could start running at the 30-second mark, and then I could just keep my phone in my pocket for the next 90 seconds, because it would tell me in my ear when I get to the end. But I didn't even realize this until it was, I was on like my 14th repetition of this, so it didn't really help me a lot. I figured it out right at the end, and I'm not doing these again, so that's going to be it. Oh well. But yeah, I did pretty good. I ran pretty well. I get sore here and there, and I've been saying that I'm worried about my back, because it's always a little tight, always a little painful, just a tinge. It's like right there. I can feel that it could at any minute go doing and leave me just unable to get up off the floor. So I am afraid of something like that happening, and it could happen any minute. It could happen any time along the way to try and getting to this marathon. And so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can get some stretching. I was watching a show where a guy was talking about how a massage therapist helped fix his back because he had a problem in his psoas, which is a muscle that I don't even know where it is. But they figured that out, and I guess needed that problem out or something. I don't know. And then after that, he's feeling so much better. And the guy liked it so much that he became a massage therapist for a while. Maybe I need to go see a massage therapist. I don't know. Maybe I need to fix my psoas, whatever that is. I have heard the guy in my my yoga thing talk about the psoas a couple of times, but yeah, I'm assuming it's somewhere in your lower back. I don't know. After running, I had bacon and eggs for breakfast or lunch or meal, whatever you want to call it, my one meal for the day. And then we hung out this morning. My wife's sister and her family is now in town. And so we got a bunch of stuff. I still have to work for a couple of days, so I won't be able to join them in doing the stuff until Saturday. But from Saturday on, we're going to be going all over the place, showing them Texas as much as we can, and see how that goes. We'll see how my idea of doing 40-hour fasts next week goes. Should be wild. And it's just getting started. It is Friday, and this morning I got up and got my numbers. My blood sugar was at 82, and my ketones were down a little bit to 1.9, but putting those together, I got a little bit better of a Dr. Boz score than yesterday. At least I think that was yesterday. Maybe it was 2 days ago. Anyways, I got a 43 Dr. Boz ratio, which, I mean, it's not bad. It's really close to 40. which is what I want to be at. And I don't know, today was an interesting day. I went out and went for a walk after that. That was good. I was walking slow. I wasn't, I was just resting, wasn't trying to do much. And that was great. After that, for my meal, I had hamburger. I took the hamburger and I kind of made it into big old hamburger patties. Great big ones that like filled the whole friggin' frying pan. And I had 2 of those. When I was done with those, my stomach was still grumbling a little. And, I try to listen to my stomach. So if it's telling me I'm still hungry, I figured I probably better eat a little bit more. So I got some eggs out and I cooked those up and I ate those. And by the time I got to them, my stomach wasn't really even grumbling anymore. So I don't know, maybe it wasn't necessary. But that's what I had, was 2 big hamburger patties. Probably a pound worth at least of ground beef, and then 6 eggs. But yeah, after that, I had issues. I've been having issues every day this week with diarrhea after eating. Usually about an hour later, it comes out, and then my stomach just kind of feels crappy for an hour after that, at least. I watched the Dr. Boz episode the other day where she was saying that sometimes people go all gung-ho and they really try and go crazy right off the bat, which is totally what I did, and it will leave them not feeling as well because their body is not transitioned over to being a fat burner, and you wind up not processing the nutrients, ingesting them. Ingesting is not the right word, but incorporating them. I can't think of the right word, the one that I'm trying to think of. But yeah, you wind up not using those, and you wind up, they go out the other end, and you're tired, which I have to admit, I am tired today. I don't know if it's got to do with that. That's one of the other things that has been a little lacking in the time since I've been doing this carnivore stuff for the last 4 weeks or so, is I haven't been getting as much sleep as I should. I just keep waking up early. I don't want to. I'd like to sleep in, but like today I woke up before 7 o'clock. I think it was 6:45, maybe even 6:30 that I was out of bed. And screw that, man. Not in the summer. I don't want to do that in the summer. I mean, I got to get up early in the winter because I got to get the kid to school. But in the summer, come on. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. And I, chalk it up to you get more energy. You don't sleep as much. That's what happens when you're fasting. And I've been doing a lot of that. So I don't know if that has to do with it or what. But yeah. That's something I guess I got to watch out for, because Dr. Boz says somebody who does stuff like that winds up feeling crappy and giving up before they get all the way, converted over. She's got this whole keto continuum, chart or whatever that you would follow. You do this until you get to this point, and this till you get to this point, and that means that you're ready for the next step. And I kind of jumped into the middle of that. So hopefully my body can get adjusted and start dealing with the food better. And so I can just use the bathroom in a normal way, because it's not what I'm getting to do right now, and it doesn't make me happy. But anyways, I'm fasting again. I'm back to my 1 meal a day thing. So, I've been on it all week, but I'm back to the fasting part of the 1 meal a day thing. And I will fast for the rest of the day, and I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Hey everybody, it is Saturday. It's my first day heading out with the family to do all the fun stuff now that my wife's sister is here with her family in town. And it was a little crazy of a day, but before it got crazy, I got up, I did my numbers, and my blood sugar was 84. My ketones came in at 2.5, so they came up a decent amount. And that brought my Dr. Boz ratio down to 33, which is it's a good number. Those are good numbers. So I'm excited about that. Now, today was my run day, and I was a little irritated because yesterday we had to rent a car to fit everybody to go out and do stuff. I didn't get to go, but everybody else did. And I went to get out the door for my run as early as possible so I would sweat as little as possible, because it is so hot here right now. And my wife said, oh, we got to go take that car back. If we don't go now, we will have to pay for another day. And so it took an hour to get all the way out to the airport, drop the car off, and come all the way back. And in that time, it got hotter. So when I did my run, I don't know how much hotter it got, but it was later than I wanted to. I wanted to get out the door as early as possible so I could hopefully sweat less. But that wasn't the way the ball bounced. That's not the right way to use that phrase, is it? Anyways, so I went running, and it was pretty good. It was my long run day. Saturday's the long run day, so I'm supposed to go for way longer than I do during the week. There was no breaks in between. It was just a full run the whole time, and I had to run 26 minutes. So I'll have to admit it was a little tougher than it has been in the other weeks. I was tired. My muscles were tired running all this way. But I managed to keep going. I went all the way through. I made it to the 26 minutes. In fact, I went a little farther because I was close to 2 miles. And I don't know what my deal is, but I do that kind of stuff. If I'm like, oh, it's almost 2 miles, well, let me finish out the 2 miles. Let me put in a little extra effort, and maybe, I don't know, I'm hoping, I guess, that maybe that'll make me better prepared for the marathon or whatever. So yeah, I ran a little bit further. I think it was like almost 30 minutes, 28 something minutes before I hit 2 miles. And then I stopped. And it was nice. I was a little tired for the rest of the day, I'll have to admit. We went out and went to the aquarium here in Houston, and that was pretty cool, but it was, I should change what I say there. It wasn't cool because it was hot. But yeah, it was a lot of walking and standing around and waiting in line. They have rides at the aquarium as well, so there was a fair amount of standing around out in the sun and stuff like that. And I was tired after doing all that running. But I should say, before we left, I had my breakfast, which was bacon and eggs. And that was good. It was my usual. And my plan was for that to be my only meal for the day. But when we got home from the aquarium, it was, well, I should say that, you know, my wife's family, I've mentioned before, they're all Canadians. My wife's from Canada, although she was actually born in America and only grew up in Canada. An American dad and a Canadian mom, so that was her deal. And most of her family is full Canadian, the whole, you know, born there and raised there and lives there. And so today was Canada Day. If you didn't know that, July 1st is Canada Day. And so for fun, we did a bunch of Canada Day stuff. I went out, I have a Canadian flag, and I went and put it on the flagpole out there. And they put up some bunting on our hammock stand. And we put on little Canada tattoos and all that kind of goofiness. And then we decided to have a barbecue for Canada Day. We did fireworks for Canada Day as well. So, yeah, we did some stuff. Just a couple little fountains and stuff, no big deal. But yeah, the barbecue, it was a bunch of hamburgers that we had. And I was the one cooking them. And I was hungry at the time. And I said, you know what? It's weekend. And I don't have to do one meal a day on the weekend, even though I usually do. I was just like, I'm done with the week of one meal a day. And so I figured I'd just have a second meal. So I had 2 meals today. I had a bunch of hamburger patties. Everybody else had hamburgers and watermelon and, you know, that kind of crap, chips and dip and etc. But I didn't eat any of that. I just had hamburger patties. I want to say I didn't eat all the ones that you see in the picture here, but I think I had like four or five. I think five. I don't know, 4 or 5 of them. And it was good, and I felt quite satisfied when I was done. And that was my Canada Day, my Saturday, which was pretty good. All in all, I guess we'll see if eating a second meal brings my ketones down or any of that kind of stuff. But that was Saturday. Talk to you again tomorrow. It is Sunday, the last day of this week, and I got up, did my numbers this morning. My blood sugar was at 102, which is it's a little bit higher than I want it to be. My ketones were 2.3, so not terrible. They're still above 2, which is good. I was worried about that when I had that second meal yesterday. What was it going to be like? That did bring my blood sugar up. So there's that. I guess it hadn't been as long since I last ate. But yeah, with those two together, that made my Dr. Boz ratio 44, which isn't bad. 44 is a respectable Dr. Boz ratio. Yeah, I mean, today was kind of more of the same. I went and had what time was it? Like lunchtime? It was around like noon, a little afternoon, I think, that I ate. And I took the last 3 hamburgers that were left over from yesterday, and I had those. I warmed them up, and I scrambled 3 eggs and put them on top. And then after that, I also cooked a pound of bacon and put that together with the other stuff. And that was my first meal. I was, kind of thinking, oh, maybe I'll just do one meal. But my wife, to give her sister's family a good taste of Texas, she decided we would barbecue up or cook up a brisket. We didn't barbecue it. We did it in the oven. But yeah, we did up a nice big brisket. And I couldn't turn that down. So at 6 o'clock today, we had brisket, and it was tasty. I really enjoyed my brisket. That was yummy stuff. I didn't go on a walk today. I just decided today would be a rest day, and I don't know if that's going to be better or worse. And then the other days have been. We'll have to see, I guess. We'll see. I guess we can go to it right now. We'll ask the other Big Anklevich, and he can tell us just how exactly he did this week. What did our weight come out? All that kind of stuff. Was it a good week? Take it away, Big Anklevich. Okay, there you have it. So that was this week. Wasn't really a particularly exciting week. I wasn't particularly encouraged by it, I'll have to say. I don't know if the 1 meal a day thing is enough to tell you the truth. I might need to do more for things to work out. Because last week, as you can see by my scale here, I was at 282. And after all this week, I wound up at 281.4, which is 0.6 pounds. I guess it's a little more than a half a pound. Not super exciting, especially considering that this is only week 5. But anyways, yeah, I think this coming up week, I'm gonna take it a little further. I'm gonna try doing alternate day fasting again. So I'll be doing 3 fasts on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of 40 hours-ish, something like that. It's always a little shorter on the Sunday to Tuesday fast and then longer on the other ones. Although this week that may not be the case, because this past week, as you saw, was a little weird towards the end. We were going out doing things with my sister's family, my wife's sister's family. didn't give the full string. But yeah, we were going out and doing stuff, and this upcoming week we're going to be doing that way more because I actually have days off of work to do that. And so it's going to be a lot more out of my normal routine. And so we'll see how that goes. See if I can manage to do fasts during that. Also, we have the 4th of July coming up this week, and we'll see how that goes as well. I think I will at least be able to eat on that day because it's a Tuesday, so it should be all right. We'll see how that goes in the upcoming week. But yeah, I have to admit, this past week just left me a little despondent, a little depressed. I didn't like how things went. Every day I would weigh myself to get that average weight for the week, and it was just ticking up and up and up every time. It was just like, okay, I didn't eat for 23 hours. Let's see what that did for me. Oh, it helped me to gain another 0.2 pounds. Great. And I know that that's one of the reasons why people often don't weigh themselves every day or even every week. I think me and Marshall before used to do it every month, and that, you know, gives you at least enough time for it to be different. Maybe I should switch to that. I don't know. This everyday thing really didn't work for me this week. It upset me. And, you know, I'm not supposed to worry about the daily weight and just look at the average, but how do you do that? How do you not worry about the daily weight when you see it every day? That's difficult. So maybe I need to just change and give up on the once a week things. That might be smart. Might help keep me from giving up on this whole thing, which I don't think that I'm on the verge of doing. Because there's a lot of really positive things, you know. When I can also do my measurements, what do I call them? I think I call them my measurements. I don't know, the numbers that I do every day of getting ketones and getting my blood sugar, you know, seeing those numbers down and looking good, and, you know, in the 40s and sometimes even way better than that. You know, I can't complain about those great Dr. Boz ratios, and it helps to keep me excited a little bit. But I don't know, maybe weighing every day is not a good idea. I wish there was a way I could do it without seeing it. Like you just stand on the scale and then it sends the answer to your phone without you actually seeing it on the thing. That would be cool. Because then I could get an average without having to be depressed by the average. But yeah, I don't know. I saw a Dr. Boz video this week where she was talking about a guy who did basically what I did. You know, went all gung-ho for keto, dropped his, you know, carbs per day way down, which, you know, like me, I'm basically at 0. There's probably a few carbs in meat here and there, so I'm not 0, but I'm basically hitting 0 each day. And, you know, I've been having, particularly this week, been having problems with diarrhea, which is, I know, what does that mean? Does that mean that I'm not digesting? That was one of the things that Dr. Boz talked about, is that if you do this too fast, your body doesn't have time to change everything over so that you're digesting all your food and you're actually getting it and using it. And, you know, is that what that means if I'm having the diarrhea problems? Or is it just that I'm eating too much fat and I'm, you know, making a slip and slide out of my insides? I don't know. I'm going to keep at it, that's for sure. But it's harder. So for all you people who've been with us for a long time, I talked to Marshall. You guys remember Marshall if you've been watching for more than just the last few weeks. Me and Marshall have been both working. We're both podcasters. We've been trying to get ourselves in better shape. When we started our 680 challenge, or 5 81. I don't know. I just call it the road to 50 because I'm trying to get somewhere good before I turn 50 years old. He's already past 50. He's trying to do it before he gets to 55. And we haven't heard from him in a while. He's still doing the thing, still doing the road to 55, the 680 challenge for him. And he's still going at it. So I figured I would have him do a weekly update for us. So I'm going to toss to Marshall, and then I'll talk to you a little bit more on the other side, and we'll finish this up.
Hey there, everybody. It's Marshall Latham here. It's been a while since I've shown up to talk about my road to 55. So my goal for the month of July is to have 0 fails on my way of eating. So, and that's eating carnivore with occasional berries. And was there some other stipulation? Oh, green vegetables, I think, was the other thing that was where I was going outside. And that's not all the time either. So anyway, my goal for July is not to have any fails. I've been, it's been kind of a tough road that way for me. I've been able to come back and get back to it, but within a week, for the last month or so, probably the last couple months, I haven't even gone a week typically without failing. So that's my goal for July, is to have a no fail Friday or no fail July. And yeah, I'm coming on here to let everybody know so that I can be accountable, I guess. Day 100 of this challenge is coming up, and Big asked me how I thought I was doing, and it took me, well, I still don't really know the answer. It took me a while to respond to that. I was like, well, how am I really doing? Unfortunately, my weight has gone up. I'm thinking close to where it was when I started all this last year, like last March. So that's a little disappointing. I'll weigh myself again at the end of the month and see if I'm down enough to register on the scale. But I think clothes wise, I'm not wearing as big of clothes as I was back then. But I'm kind of in between that and the smaller clothes that I was wearing at the end of the whenever I stopped doing the carnivore last year. So that's good and bad, I guess. I feel good. I mean, I don't feel as good as I did last September, October, but I don't feel terrible. So I guess that's improvement or whatever. And I have noticed that difference within the last 90 days, I guess, that I've been doing this challenge, is that I do feel better than I did 3 months ago. So I think that's improvement, but I don't know. Either I was so far gone that I haven't made enough progress to get back to where I was, or whatever on the scale, but I can do better. I can stop giving in to temptation. I can start walking again. That's something that I haven't done really. I haven't been active during these 30 days. I mean, I've gone out occasionally, but I haven't made an effort to go out daily or every other day or anything really. So I'm going to do that as well and see how we do, and just try to improve, try to become healthier and better. So that's my commitment for July, and we'll see how it goes. And yeah, I'm just trying to eat carnivore. So, well, I have been, but I'm going to try even more so not to fail. So there you go. That's all I have to say about that. So I'll come back. Maybe I'll do these weekly. That's what Big challenged me to do. I don't know if he challenged me. He suggested that maybe I could do these weekly. And so yeah, I'll probably try to do that.
So there you go. Marshall, he's been struggling a little bit, like I had been before I started into this most recent journey to Wonderland. And, you know, he's trying to get himself on track. He's not doing terrible, but he doesn't make it more than a week or so without a slip up. And it's really hard to make any progress. It's that whole one step forward and two steps back kind of thing. Because yeah, that is what happens every time you fail. It's definitely two steps back. And you have to do 4 days in a row just to get one step forward. So, you know, it's a really hard hill to climb. So he's got to get himself being more consistent. And hopefully this will do it for him. I don't know. I'm a little worried about the goal that he picked. A fail-free July is tough, you know? If you don't make it, then what do? You just give up for the rest of July because you already lost it. What if you fail on July 4th? And then you have the entire month that you gotta, I guess you gotta start with a different goal, come up with something else. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, hopefully Marshall can get it together and get it going. I've tried to get him to get himself one of those monitors that I got and start checking his numbers. That's always, I don't know, that got me excited. I thought it was pretty cool. So that worked for me, really got me into it. All right, so that is that for this week. So next week coming up, I'm going to be doing alternate day fasting all through the week. And it's going to be a crazy week. So we'll see if I can make any better progress. Hopefully I can. I've been doing all my running, and I'm going to keep doing that. And by Saturday, I should be hitting a 5K. That's where I'm at on the Couch to 5K program. This Saturday is when that happens. So we'll see if I can manage that. I think 5K is a mile more than I have run yet. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's going pretty good. Despite these setbacks, the lack of big visible progress. So we're going to see how it goes this upcoming week. I think it'll be a little better. You know, big fasts tend to make a little bit more difference than just a 1 meal a day kind of a thing did. So we'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching Big Anklevich on health.